When we categorize a behavior as objectively right or wrong, what do we actually mean? Are we describing a universal fact or a local preference? To answer that, we rely on a rigorous analytical framework known as metaethics. This field investigates the underlying logic and meaning of our moral statements. This taxonomy of ethics splits into two main branches. On one side is ethical relativism, the claim that absolute moral values do not exist universally. It divides into cultural relativism, basing morality on a society's norms, and moral subjectivism, based on individual preference. We have to distinguish between descriptive sociology and normative metaethics. It is a sociological observation that hitchhiking gestures or dinner table etiquette vary widely by region. Ethical relativism goes much further. It claims that all values, even those regarding the sanctity of human life, are strictly local preferences. We are going to subject both of these relativist architectures to rigorous logical stress tests to see if they hold up to scrutiny. If relativism survives these tests, our entire understanding of universal justice collapses. If it fails, we are left with the reality that objective moral truth must exist. The modern relativist viewpoint gained serious traction in the early to mid-20th century, driven by new advances in cultural anthropology. Scholars like Ruth Benedict documented how different people groups held vastly divergent values regarding end-of-life care and marriage. This exposure to alternative ways of living sparked widespread skepticism about the existence of absolute truth. This skepticism solidified into the primary defense for relativism, known as the cultural differences argument. It begins with a single premise. Different cultures have divergent moral codes. From this, relativists draw an immediate conclusion. Therefore, there is no objective truth in morality. From a formal standpoint, this argument is invalid. The conclusion does not follow from the premise. The core error lies in assuming that a plurality of beliefs dictates the absence of a single truth. The fact that human beings disagree about a topic is merely a sociological observation. It has zero logical bearing on whether an objective reality exists. We can stress test this logical leap by looking at the history of science, specifically the history of astronomy. This diagram illustrates the historical plurality of views regarding the Earth's place in the universe. For centuries, groups fiercely defended a flat Earth, or geocentrism, and eventually the heliocentric model. Centuries ago, competing cultures held these divergent views simultaneously because they lacked powerful telescopes. There was no reliable method to prove which model was correct. Yet, despite the lack of human consensus and testing methods, the Earth was still objectively orbiting the Sun. Now, apply this exact same epistemological test back to the cultural differences argument. Relativists often update their claim to argue that because ethics currently lacks a reliable scientific method for proving right from wrong, moral truth cannot exist. This mirrors the astronomical error. Objective truth is not dependent on our ability to prove it in the present moment. Just as early humans couldn't easily prove the layout of the solar system, our difficulty in proving complex ethical truths does not erase the existence of an objective moral reality. Moving past formal logic, we have to examine what happens in practice if a society actually adopts cultural relativism as its operating system. Philosophers test theories using a tool called reductio ad absurdum, reduction to the absurd. If a theory produces absurd consequences, it must be false. Our map shows three absurdities. First, critique becomes impossible. If local culture dictates absolute right and wrong, we logically lose the grounds to condemn the atrocities of outside cultures. By relativist rules, an outsider cannot judge the genocides of regimes like the Nazis because those actions aligned with that culture's values. The second implication forces us to reclassify what it means to be a moral reformer. Figures who heroically challenged prevailing societal mores, like Martin Luther King Jr. fighting Jim Crow laws, must be classified as immoral actors under a strict relativist baseline because they actively opposed the current cultural consensus. This brings us to the third panel, the impossibility of societal improvement. Without an external standard above a culture, societies cannot logically improve. They can only randomly alter their preferences. You cannot measure progress without a fixed destination. We recognize that condemning genocide, praising moral reformers, and acknowledging human progress are basic to moral common sense. Because cultural relativism necessitates the rejection of these positions, its foundational premise cannot be true. Even if we ignore those absurdities, cultural relativism faces a fatal practical flaw: the impossibility of drawing borders around what constitutes a single culture. National cultures break down into regional subcultures. The norms in northern Indiana differ from those in Texas. If morality is defined by culture, exactly which subculture's rules apply to you? The line drawing becomes endless. This infinite regression forces the theory to collapse inward until it reaches the only clear boundary left: the individual. This results in moral subjectivism. Subjectivism is the theory that moral truth is tethered to individual preference. Under this framework, the statement "X is wrong" translates entirely to "I dislike X." This framework permanently reduces substantive moral disagreements to mere aesthetic preferences. Debating a major ethical issue like war or euthanasia carries the exact same philosophical weight as debating the taste of Brussels sprouts. One person likes them, the other finds them disgusting, and there is nothing left to discuss. This leads to a final absurdity. Under subjectivism, it is impossible for an individual to ever be morally mistaken about their own judgments. If a person flips their stance on a vital moral issue every single day, they remain perfectly correct on every single day, so long as their stance aligns with their immediate internal feeling at that exact moment. Subjectivism annihilates the concept of rational debate, stripping the ideas of duty and justice of any meaning, and rendering ethics a completely useless exercise. The entire relativist architecture collapses under its own weight. It fails the basic tests of formal logic, and its practical implications destroy our ability to function as a society. Looking back at our meta-ethical map, the relativist branch vanishes as a viable option. We must now look to the surviving branch to account for our moral intuition. Moral objectivism provides the structural pillars supporting concepts like human rights, justice, and valid disagreement. It is the only coherent foundation capable of recognizing true heroism, identifying deep corruption, and actually measuring human progress over time. Final thought: since moral truth is not a relative illusion, we are compelled to use reliable tools like rigorous reason and human experience to continuously discover and align with that.